I became involved in fire through a friend of mine talked me into doing volunteer firefighting. And so I was doing that, and then they asked me to be a sleeper, which meant I'd spend every other night at the fire station, every other weekend, and get paid for any training I accomplished and any calls I went out on with the regular firefighters. So that was a great way to learn. I learned structure fire, learned wildland fire. And then in 1980, I was working for CAL FIRE, got a job from the Park Service, and asked me if I wanted to work on an engine crew in Sequoia Kings Canyon National Park at Grant Grove Fire Station. And I remember my dad had got the call first and told them, no, he's not interested. He's already working for what was then CDF or CAL FIRE. And he told me about a week later, hey, Park Service called to offer you a job. And I told him you'd already had one. I went, what? And in those days, it was a lot better deal to work for the feds than it was for the state of California. So I called up the park and said, oh, you have that job still open? My dad wasn't quite sure what he's talking about. And I got the job. They offered me the job, and that was just cool. Got there, worked on a 3-person engine crew, managing fires, got to do a lot of Schedule A firefighting, vehicle extrications, accidents. We were a regular fire department, even though we were wildland. And then we did a lot of prescribed burning, and I really got it. That was the first prescribed burning I'd done in my life, other than when you count when I was a junior arson setter. It was all controlled. It's on our own properties. We had to burn weeds. So yeah, we did I remember doing all the prep work and lighting off a 200-acre timber burn with really just 3 or 4 of us in those days, because there was no money. We didn't get paid any overtime beyond 8 hours. We were volunteering our time. We got comp time for being out there all night patrolling the burn. It was that was pivotal. The other pivotal part was in '81, I was working on the Arrowhead Hotshot crew as a AD, emergency firefighter. That was the first year of the crew, and I got picked up as an AD about halfway through their season and was working with them. And I remember being on a fire on the Angeles National Forest and, hiking through the San Gabriel wilderness and just thinking, this is what I want to do. And that really was, looking back, the real pivotal moment that I want to be a hotshot and I want to go out on wildland fires and do this for a while. And so after I finished college in 1984, I continued working as a seasonal on Arrowhead, and until I got picked up permanent in 1989. After the Yellowstone fires, the Park Service got a bit of money to boost their program, and as the second person the Park Service hired after they got Yellowstone money. And still working on the hotshot crew for 7 more years after that, until I decided it's time to do something different, because I was got married, had kids, and the kids were starting to get school age, and where we lived and where I worked with Arrowhead was an hour bus ride for the kids to school, and so we moved to the Bay Area.